Alright, new draft time. This is the DPRM, or the Democratic People's Republic of Mons draft league. Yes, it's a a draft league that supports communism. Get onto that later. But this is a Champions OU draft league, so it follows all the Champions rules, level 50 Mons, the item cuts, the Pokemon cuts. So like it only has like the decks with like the Pokemon on Champions. But yeah, it is an 8-week draft, I'm pretty sure, and the gimmick in this draft is that you draft as normal. You draft, your 9 to 11 Mons or whatever, but then you each week, every division gets given a Common, a Mon of the week, and that Mon is a Mega, and it's a Mega Pokemon that every single person in that division has to use in their game. So everyone gets the exact same Mega Pokemon, because communism. And we can't draft Megas, so like the Mega that's rolled for the week is the Mega that everyone gets for the week, and then it changes week by week. But yeah, week 1 has already happened. I haven't even prepped for week 2 yet. I need to get on that, but first of all, I should actually show you the team that I drafted. The first time doing this, actually talking about how I ended up drafting the team that I did. So I was actually pick 2 in the draft. That was my draft order, which is probably a good thing for other people, because I tend to not draft like the top premier Mons. Like in a Politics draft, I would never touch Dragapult, I'd never touch Valiant, I'd never touch Tornadus Therian, Palafin. And I mean, even in this one, I didn't get a 19 or 18, I didn't get a single 19 or 18 pointer. My first Pokemon was actually Aegislash. However, although it is a 17 pointer, it is very, very good. It doesn't have Toxic, but it has King's Shield, obviously, stance change is great, it has Sword stance, and it has Poltergeist now, which is pretty fucking strong. Also, I'm pretty sure recently, like literally like a day or 2 ago, Champions OU released a viability rankings, and Aegislash was ranked like the best Mon, or like one of the best Mons. I'm pretty sure it was S tier. So yeah, obviously very good. And then after I drafted Aegislash, I figured, okay, I wanted someone to either set up spikes or a dark type, with good knockoff, because item removal is very good here, especially with the item clause as well. And I think, what was it? Scizor got taken. I think I wanted Garchomp initially. I think I was looking at Meowscarada or Garchomp, because Meowscarada's pivoting and Garchomp has spikes, same for Meowscarada, but they got taken. But I did get Weavile, and Weavile is pretty good. Very fast speed tier, good knockoff, just good stabs in general. So yeah, and then round 3 I was like, what, screw it, I'm gonna one of my favorite Pokemon is Diggersby, and I wanted it to be my ground type, and I was, even if I got Garchomp, I was gonna have Diggersby anyways, just because huge power is so cool. It does get Sword Dance, and the only choice item in the game is Choice Scarf, which helps Diggersby, because it's a really great choice scarfer, and it can actually benefit from that despite the item cuts. I was like, yeah, screw it, let me get that. Also gives me pivoting, and I didn't want other people to get it. Also, especially since so the draft was split into 2 draft pools, although the division is as big as 16 people. The draft pools are split into 2, so you had an 8-person draft pool A and an 8-person draft pool B, so separate draft boards. And I don't think anyone would have picked up Diggersby really, but I just wanted to get it early. And then after Diggersby, I was like, okay, well, I need a Fizdef Mon, and at the time I didn't know that Slowbro didn't learn teleport in Champions OU. I didn't know that was and I didn't know that there was a freaking what's it called, teleport extinction or eradication of it. So I picked up Slowbro thinking, I'm gonna have slow pivoting, and it's just a really good Fizdef Mon. and at 9 points it seemed really good, but obviously now I know why it is 9 points. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll get Slowking instead, like in Grace, because I just have chilly reception. And then I think by the time it got to round 5, I was like, okay, well, Steel types and Fairy types are few and far between in Champions OU. Thankfully, I already had my Steel type in Aegislash, but I didn't have a Fairy type. And I mean, Clefable I was never going to get, but Tinkaton was taken, Hatterene was taken, Primarina was taken. And then I kept sifting through some mons, and I looked at Florges, and I looked at Floette, and I thought, you know what, Floette is really cool. It's a new mon, haven't tried, so let me pick it up. So I picked it up. And then I wanted something that fit the 110 speed tier, something that would still be fast, but between a Weavile and whatever 100 or 95 speed tier mon that I eventually get. I also wanted another rocker. Well, actually, I wanted a rocker because I didn't have one yet, especially with all the other rockers that I was looking at getting sniped. And Dusk is pretty cool. It is another physical attacker, but it can function as a sash lead always. So I was like, screw it, let me get it. And I was also in another draft at the time where I knew I wouldn't be able to get Lycanroc Dusk, and I really wanted to try it. So I was like, okay, let me just get it in this draft. After that, I was like, okay, well, I really need a spinner. Starmie was taken. Kokavil I was thinking at one point, but that was taken. And there wasn't many defoggers that I wanted. And in the other draft as well that I was planning to get Lycanroc Dusk in, but couldn't, I also wanted to draft Morpeko, because for some reason I've just grown an obsession with Morpeko recently, and often that's how I draft. I just grow an obsession to 1 or 2 mons, and I'm like, okay, let me just build around them. And because I couldn't get in that one, I was like, okay, screw it. Well, I can get it here, and it can be my spinner as well. That's pretty cool. And also, there are very few ghost resists within the tier, so having Weavile and Diggersby and Morpeko, although none of them are defensive mons, they can at least function as a ghost resist, for a one-time turn or whatever. So yeah, I got Morpeko, only 2 points. After that, I was more, and also Morpeko's speed tier helped. And then after that, I was like, okay, well, I wanted a bulky Pokemon that resists ground. I was looking at Chestnut for a long time, and I also wanted a grounded poison type. So I was looking at Chestnut for a long time, and I was looking at, I forget which poison type I was looking at, but whatever. I think the poison type that I wanted to get, didn't. Oh, I was thinking a Garbodor, but then in the same round that I got Morpeko, Garbodor got taken. So I was like, okay, well, now I don't have any good ground and poison. And I looked at Venusaur and I was like, you know what? I don't mind having two grass types. It doesn't actually, hurt that much. And the Mega that we get from the Common of the Week may always help. So I was like, okay, let me get Venusaur. And I looked at Chestnut. I was like, okay, well, Chestnut is perfect here because it's a very good Fizz-Type Mon. Very bulky and also has spikes, which is nice. But then I looked at Hisuian Decidueye, and Decidueye is my favorite Pokemon. Hisuian Decidueye is, obviously one of my favorite Pokemon as well. I really like it, and you can do some cheese stuff, especially with the item cuts. The good thing is Scope Lens is in Champions OU, and with Scope Lens you can turn your Triple Arrows or your Leaf Blaze or your Shadow Claws into a 50% chance crit or almost 50% chance crit. So I was like, screw it. Hisuian Decidueye is still fairly bulky. Obviously it's not the physically defensive demon that is Chestnut, and also doesn't have bulletproof, but let me just draft something that is more fun that I want to use, because I don't particularly like Chestnut, but I love Hisuian Decidueye. So I was like, screw it, let me get Hisuian Decidueye, and then I got Venusaur last, and that is how the draft ended up. Definitely not the most optimal draft, but it is a draft that when I look at it, I find it to be fun and I like it a lot, and often that matters way more for me because I get more invested in it. Because let's be real, when it comes to draft, the thing that is the most fun, I think, for most people is the actual drafting bit. Prepping and building and battling isn't as fun as drafting. But if you draft a team that you love and a team that like is a lot of fun for you, then the prepping and the battling and the building becomes way more fun as well, because you actually care about the team. And you know, you might end up building some like heat and shiest sets which no one could have foreseen, and they help you win a game. Like you know, some, I don't know, weird custom berry stuff, or some resist berry, or I don't know, like a niche item like a scope lens, or like a I don't know, a muscle band. I'm trying to recall a game a few weeks ago where muscle band actually helped me win, but I can't remember what it was exactly. But anyways, that is the Hansi Flicks. Whoever knows that reference, if you know, you know. The logo itself is so silly, but yeah, that is my team.